Hello, beautiful Leos. Can I just tell you, as I've sat down here, we've got 11:11 come up, and this is so cool because as I sat down to do your reading for today, um, I was initially ready to start, and then my computer went through all these updates, and it turned out to be like an hour later. But it's almost like my little 11:11 down in the corner is that reassuring. Don't worry, divine timing. So, welcome. Thank you for being here. I'm Emma, and whilst I'm somewhat new to YouTube, I am not new to doing this at all. I've been doing it a very long time, and I love it. I will put a link in the description box to my website so that you can find out a bit more about me. But I'm thrilled to be here, and thank you for joining me. We will be doing your April 2021 reading, Leos, and I'm feeling really good about it. So what I've done is I've tuned in to Leo energy and the themes that are coming up in April, as well as I'm going to pull 3 cards from my Rider-Waite deck, and I'm going to pull a relationship card towards the end as well, because I know that is something we all want to know about. So I'm here and I'm ready. So when I sat down and I was all linked into Leo energy, the message that I got through for you guys in April is be true to who you are and choose your own way. And I feel like April is really giving you guys the space to sink into your sense of self and hear yourselves and feel yourselves, and giving you the opportunity to stand by yourself so that you can be who you are out in the world, and in a way that feels right for you. And I really feel like everything that is bubbling inside of you and around you is all pushing you to really know that now is your time to be you. And I feel like over the past year, you have gone through a layering. It feels like you've been layered with such beautiful qualities, from understanding and knowledge, and there's this depth and there's connection and feeling, and that you've had plenty of time to get to know you. I feel like a lot of the circumstances the last year gave you opportunity to be with you and get to know you, and that we're approaching a time where you will feel this natural readiness to be out in the world. I do feel like you already know that. Like, I know I want to be out in the world, and yet it doesn't feel like the appropriate opportunities that feel really, really good for you maybe are in abundance. It might feel that some areas have got that movement, or even just that comfort level, you're happy with where things are at. But of course, we all have 1 or 2 things right now that are feeling as if they could do with some inflation and some injection of aliveness. And it's these areas that we are encouraging you into now. I feel like if you have got those flat areas, the areas that just don't seem to be matching up to the other areas of your life that are maybe quite full, those are the directions we're encouraging you into, not just in April, but through probably the next 6 months or so. And that is with the intention of bringing everything up to, this feeling of fullness. However, I got some really interesting feelings when I was sitting with you, because it felt like the energy just slowed down. And everything slowed down. And I'm sure many of you are feeling that you're not moving in a fast rhythm. And a part of that might feel like life just isn't letting you move in a fast rhythm. But I also feel like that's quite internal, that whilst there is this yearning for new experience, there's also this knowing that you're not about to rush into anything. And I think, I'm going to stand by that with you, that I actually agree that there isn't any rush. And I I wonder if there are other people around you with all the loving intention that want to see you thrive, that believe that you should just be getting on with stuff and do something, do anything, just, get out there, get beginning. And that might feel like you're being pushed into something that's beyond your own readiness. It might feel like where people are trying to encourage you into, or even invite you into. Maybe you're feeling that people are trying to invite you into things that just don't naturally sit right with you today. And it could be for a variety of reasons, but I think it all comes back to it just doesn't feel true to who you are. It just doesn't feel true to where you're at, true to what you want. And I feel like everything in April is very much giving you permission to move at a slower rhythm. And I feel like this slower rhythm is really purposeful. I feel like it's giving you your own time and space to discern, so that you don't go into the wrong things. I think some people might be looking at you as if you're just, I don't know, maybe they've got this perception that you're afraid of entering into things, or that you you're just dithering and you're not being decisive enough and you're not willing to take the risk. And I don't feel that to be true at all. I feel that you're just acutely aware that you do not want to invest your time and energy into something that doesn't sit true for you, and that you would rather wait for the calling, that heart's calling towards what feels good for you. And I think once you feel into what that is, you're going to go. But I also feel like there's a lot happening around you, and it might actually come in the form of irritation. It might come in the form of irritation. There's some stuff around you where the people are sort of, and it's people, it might be our perception of people around us, it might be comparison, it might be social media, it might be cultural, but this energy of saying, in order to move forward, you've got to be a certain way, or you've got to do it a certain way, or you've got to go a certain way. And I feel like there's a lot of wonderful conversation coming, and wonderful like dreams and meditations and YouTube videos and just thoughts and feelings and inspiration that seems to be this very consistent encouragement that you have permission to do it your way. And that even though it's not the way other people might do it, it's true for you. And because you're being true to yourself, and because you're listening to your heart, and because you're following that heart's calling, you have got a lot lined up for success here, because you're creating something that's your own. There's a lot around you that's about your individuality. And there's a lot around you that is honoring your individuality, celebrating your individuality, and encouraging your individuality out in the world. And I just think that April is the month that gives you what you need to feel that you can stand by your convictions. So if you have been feeling like you're having to explain yourself a lot, I imagine by the end of April, you're so done doing that. And you're just a bit like, this is who I am and this is what I'm doing. Even if that's waiting, do you know, like, I just feel like you'll be like, I'm waiting and I've decided to do that. Or I'm going forward and I've decided to do that. And I just feel as though once you begin, you are going into a lot of newness between now and the summer. There's a lot of new life experience beckoning you. I think once you're really in the fullness and the momentum and really got stuck into that, I think your living example is going to shine to everybody that thought you should have done it another way. And everybody's going to go, well, they totally knew what they were on about. And I feel like you don't need to waste too much energy convincing people of your standing today, or throughout April. You don't need to do that. It's more about letting your living example be the proof of the pudding. And I think in many ways you're going to inspire others because you've chosen your own way. That living example is going to be an inspiration to people that didn't even know they needed it. It's in your own, as you carve your own way forward, it's going to give permission to other people to do the same. And it's going to be wonderfully healing and beautifully transformative. So those were my feelings as I sank in to your energy. And I think that's a really good start. I imagine that that will sort of shine through as I pull these cards now. So I'm going to pull 3 cards for April and see what we've got. Let's have a look. I'm just laying them down now. Like I said, they're the Rider-Waite deck. Okay, it's interesting. So I've got the 6 of Pentacles. I've got the 8 of Swords. And I've got the 2 of Pentacles. So what I like about this is we haven't got any major arcana here, so nothing's coming in to be particularly life-changing. I believe that's probably because you've been through so much transformation internally the past year that what's happening through April is we're just now taking it out in the world and giving it a run. So, you know, what you have become is now what you shall be until you're textured with more life experience. And I think that's nice. You can take a break. You can move at that slower rhythm. There's no real requirement of you to, you know, make some big awakening through April. So if we begin with our 6 of Pentacles, you know, for me looking at that, I'm really getting the feeling of just because you're being offered it doesn't mean you need to keep it. I mean, as we see this guy, you know, trickling the, what are they, coins or breadcrumbs or something into this guy's hand, you know, you're allowed to see how it feels. You're allowed to see how something feels once you've got it in your hand. Now, that feels really cool because I feel like there may be opportunity through April offered to you. And that might be opportunity for work. It might be opportunity for engagement socially. It might be opportunity for creativity and projects. It feels like people are offering you what it, you know, these different examples of things that you might like to try. You know, it feels like you have been asking for things from the universe, and here are some different offerings for you, but you get to decide how that feels. And you're allowed to take hold of something and kind of just roll it about, right? You don't have to have this instant yes or no. If you've got a gut intuition there that says yes or no, then of course honor it. But at the same time, you're allowed to say, well, let me sit with that. Let me feel into that. Let me see how it makes me feel. And if it is not wholly what you want, you're allowed to evolve it. You're allowed to see if there's room to change what you've been offered. You know, you don't have to just accept it. You can say, oh, I like this about what you're offering me, but can we maybe think about adding this in? Or can we take this little bit away? Or how do you feel about my ideas? And if something isn't sitting right for you, then hand it back. Hand it back, because more is going to be offered. Like, I just feel like you're not going to run out of offers. You're not going to run out of offers. It's like buses, you know, like they'll just keep on coming. If you miss one or you decide not to get on one, another bus is going to come right along, and you're not going to be lacking in opportunity for engagement through April. I feel like whatever your heart is calling for, there is going to be an abundance of opportunity. But I wonder if the reason you're being offered such a variety is to layer your confidence of choice, because you've changed. What you want has changed. And I feel like rather than the universe saying, this is your path, the only path, off you go, it feels like they're laying out a buffet and letting you decide what you fancy. It's like life is saying, right, why don't you do a bit of taste testing? Why don't you discern what you want? And you've got our reassurance that we are behind your choice this time, rather than dictating the path of fate. You know, it's all very much being given back to you. It's like your life is back in your own hands, and it's absolutely up to you what you decide is good for you. And I do feel like April has got a lot to enjoy here. There's a lot of invitation, a lot of offer. And so by all means, you shouldn't be bored, because you've got a lot coming in. But I'm actually seeing these 2 cards. You know, we've got our swords there, 8 of Swords. Oh, it doesn't stick in my brain ever, that. And we've got our 2 of Pentacles. And I think with these 2 together, I think what we've got here is once you have been offered something, pause. Just be still. Don't feel trapped. You're not trapped by the offer. You don't have to agree to anything, right? And you don't have to be trapped by your own thoughts of the offer and like get frozen in overthinking it. Yeah, it's just the strategic pause to consider. And that's what we've got there, right? You're weighing up what is of value to you, what is meaningful, and what is special, and what you care about. And I feel like the pause is going to give you this space to discern. And I think just see the pause as strategic. I think there is a tendency with many of us that if we don't act immediately, then we are left with our own thoughts about something, and maybe we don't feel like we are in control of our thoughts. But I feel like you guys have been through the mill. This is not your first rodeo. You do know how to really navigate that good self-talk. You know how to sort out your thoughts here. I think you've got a lot of practice in this area. It's okay that sometimes you get rattled, and that's normal, that's human. Allow the rattling to quiet, a bit like an earthquake, and then let it come to stillness, and then just weigh up what's of value to you. Actually, a lot of this can really come back to if you're being true to who you are and choosing your own way now. I love that you're choosing your own way. It's all on you. You're going to choose that which is of value for you. And what is of value is what's meaningful, what we care about. And I feel like some offers may be initially exciting, or they might be initially a bit, I'm not sure. And that's going to trigger all the thinking. Like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? And since you're being offered a lot through April, you might have a lot of moments of going, what do I do? What do I do? So then you go take a nap, strategic pause, let everything quiet down, go nap, and then come back to it and say, does this line up with what I value and who it is I've become and what I care about and what I want to invest in? And if it's, I think you'll just know. I really don't feel like these are going to be hard decisions for you. I feel like maybe it's just the initial invitation and opportunity at all, because I think there have been many of you, Leos, who have had certain parts of yourself away from the world. And it's not just because we've been in all these global restrictions. It's been a very emotional choice that there have been certain parts of you held back from the world. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying that negatively. I think you've held it back so that you can discern who it goes out to and the areas it goes out to. And now, of course, there's all these opportunities coming saying, please bring that part of you out to us. Of course, that's going to go, oh, I haven't been doing that lately. I don't know how I feel about putting this part of myself out in the world again. I've not been doing that. But if it lines up with all those wanderings and thoughts and dreams and feelings you've been having in recent months, I think you're going to just know that it's for you. But the weighing up, the reason why that's maybe important is because it's going to help to solidify and seal in this confidence of choice. And a lot that's going on for you in April and will travel through the rest of the year is this development and this layering of your confidence of choice, this allowing yourself to choose your own way, feeling that you are capable and competent when it comes to making your own life choices, that you do make good, great, incredible life choices for yourself, and that you can be trusted to be out there in the world. It's just, there's a lot going on that says you are absolutely ready to be in the driver's seat of your own life. And we are going to be giving you a lot of experience here so that the more you do it, the more easier it gets and the more fun it becomes. And so I think April is really opening up the doors. It's really opening up the doors of your life. But the great news is that you don't have to walk through them. There's no rush. I really felt like a slow rhythm around you. And I think by slowing down, again, you're just really solidifying that confidence of choice. So you've got a lot coming in April that is based. April's like a giant taste test. And I feel like that could be incredibly pleasurable. If you imagined it like the most glorious feast of all the of life's delights, you know, imagine it like a big table and it's all this glorious food, and you get to just enjoy tasting it all and deciding what you might find you like a lot of what's on that table. But there's only a few things you want more of. So once you've tasted it, you might go, that's good, but that's enough. And there's going to be certain things that you taste and you go, oh, I just want more of it and more of it and more of it. And again, I do think once the thoughts have found a sense of calmness, that the decisions are going to be very clear and very obvious to you. So your April is just about having fun with a bit of life experience, which sounds good to me, but not challenging life experience, just fun life experience to see how you feel about what it is you want to do. So you shouldn't be bored, and I think there will be opportunity to really move forward in leaps and bounds. It's all dependent on how you feel about your choices. There's no need to grab the first thing, as we've discussed. And at the same time, if you do find something you really enjoy, then by all means, this is the time to start. You know, this is the time to begin. And it is just leading to more and more opportunities coming throughout the entire spring and summer. So there's a lot to look forward to, Leos. Now, I'm going to move on to pulling a relationship card. When I tuned into you guys before I got on, I actually felt a theme of relationship evolution for like the whole of 21. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is going to really bring you into co-creative experiences in a whole new way. And I think probably because you are choosing now, you're no longer at, you know, like sort of put yourself out there like fate, come get me. I'll take whatever's given. I'll go wherever life says I have to go. You know, you are very much choosing. And I think because you're choosing, you're going to be in a practice of choosing that which is high standard and high quality and high pleasure and high reward. And I think that's really trickling into your relationships. And I feel like it's going to be bringing you these co-creative experiences across the board, whether that's, you know, within love and romance, but also through friendship and family and work relationships. You will see the capacity here for you to have a more nourishing connection than you've experienced before. And I think it's because you are choosing that you will be able to refuse that which doesn't line up for you. And I think you're going to be in a really good practice for it soon, where you're like, nope, you may already feel like you're in it. Or you say, nope, you seem like a great person, but I'm not feeling like this is up to my standards here of what it is I want to be experiencing. And I think through April, because we've got the 9 of Cups. I mean, just looking at it makes me happy. Does it do that to you? I just look at it, and that is just contentment with the way things are. And that just says to me, whatever's coming in your relationships, it is just going to be really easy. It's going to be easy to be yourself. It's going to be easy to enjoy them. It's going to be easy to connect, to communicate, to have chemistry. It's going to be easy to have fun. It's going to be easy to develop. It's going to be easy. And how do you know that it's not right for you? Because it's not easy. Everything around you is just saying this is going to be easy. And I think, you know, don't get too knotted up if in early April you're feeling some resistance in relationship, because I just don't feel like that's going to last. I feel like you're going to get some very contrasting experience of what it feels like when it's easy and what it feels like when it's not. And that will just be very clear signs to you of where to invest your time and energy. And I do feel like April is also giving you the opportunity to bring those sides out of you that, you know, I did just mention that there are parts of you that have been kept on the inside for a while. And I feel like that's been quite strategic. You know, you've been able to discern now where these parts go, but I feel like these parts are coming out. You know, we're bringing a much fuller Leo out into the world for relationship experience. And I do believe occasionally you may be asking the question, well, who can I be myself with? Who can I be around and be myself? Who can I love and be myself? Where am I loved for being myself? And here's the easiest way to do this is, how do you know that you can be yourself around someone? Because you're being yourself around them. That is the easiest way to do it. Like, this isn't a thought thing. If you are naturally being yourself around someone, think of some of your greatest friends. You're very naturally yourself, both when you're in despair and struggle and sadness and off days, but also when you're jubilant and excitable and happy and enthusiastic and vibrant. You know, you are just yourself. There's no thought about, oh, can I bring myself out today? You know, you are just yourself. It happens naturally. You can meet strangers, and for some reason, in their presence, you just know you're yourself. And I think this isn't a thought thing. I think April is going to be showing you who you can be yourself with. And you will discover this because you are just being yourself, and it feels good. And I do believe there is going to be a lot of opportunity for that. I feel like there's a lot of time and space being created for the rest of the year, actually, in order for your relationships to be very layered, very textured, and incredibly fun, and completely set up for you to be yourself. So, you know, be yourself. Everything about this is be yourself this month. Well, thank you for joining me. I will be back. I will be back again next month. If you want to join me on my Patreon, I'd love to invite you over there. It's a very new community. I've only just begun it, but it's going to blossom. It's already begun. And I'm going to be doing lots of fun stuff over there, like weekly videos and daily card readings. And I'd love to be able to do a monthly live with a conversation at some point. And yeah, I'm excited. We're going to have lots of fun over there. So I will put a link in the description box. But you can also book in for one-to-one readings on my website, and I am on Facebook. So I will look forward to coming to check in with you again soon, Leo. Wishing you the most wonderful Aprils that have ever been. May April be very rewarding for you and give you, you know, all that lovely taste testing experience. And I will look forward to talking to you again soon. All my love. See you later.